Joe, real quick, man. Just had to do this little quick review. I'm not even sure what I'm going to put this thing on, but definitely just got this new diamond cut clipper blade set, and this thing looks really good. I can't wait to use this thing. I'm going to definitely figure out what I'm going to put this thing on. I feel like I should put this on something that's really going to not be expected, and it's going to work out really great because I've been meaning to do this already. It was something that was on my mind for some time, but maybe I should do the apex. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It has a fade blade on this thing, but this is something that I see perfect for this, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a fixed fade blade, and you have the cutter. So the cutter is a shallow 2.0, and of course this is Stylecraft's newest drop. So hey, look, stay tuned. Let's see how this thing does. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this blade and equip it with the diamond cut joint. Oh man, got that issue again that I'm always running into. This is not my favorite thing to do when it comes to clippers. I don't adjust my clippers, so I don't really mess with them when I have to bring something heavy duty out. Hopefully this will get it. Okay, boom. There we go. Almost like they got that Loctite on here. Pop right out. Yo, so for those of you who missed it, the original plan that I've been talking about for some time was to put the fixed vapor and a slim deep tooth cutter blade on this apex, and I completely switched it up. But I originally wanted to put this diamond cut blade onto my saber. Would have been really awesome. That saber is a beast, y'all. If you don't got one of those, that's something you need to put into your rotation. It's not even about arsenal anymore. It's just what your rotation is what's going to make your cuts. But just so y'all know, I'm definitely about to zero gap this blade set. It's not usually what I do, but I'm about to do it. Make sure I clean this off because it's kind of grimy. Crazy how much hair can really get into these tubes. Haven't even been using these that long. Had the red ones for a while, but the blue one was more of a recent, you know, use, or I started using these more recent, so yeah. Anyway, go ahead and put this on here. Make sure everything's on point. Place that properly. Yeah, I really like the apex a lot. I know everybody's fixing these things on more of the instinct with that vector motor, you know what I'm saying? But this is the old blade, y'all, by the way. So I'm gonna put this up over here. I'm gonna be using this thing a whole lot. I'm really excited for this, but everybody's putting these things on, you know, their instinct and stuff. I love to see it, but I'm always daring to be different at the end of the day, and you know, why not? Let's see, because the apex is slept on, y'all. Like, people act like this thing is obsolete, and I really like this thing. And what made me really like this more is rocking with that Cyborg from Gamma Plus, of course. The Cyborg is one of the biggest beasts, a juggernaut right now on the market, and if you don't have one, go get that thing. But yo, I know this thing is about to be snapping, and I'm gonna try to make sure that I have these blades on here properly so that I am not cutting people open. Try not to zero gap it because I want to keep just enough gap on here to where I'm removing what needs to be removed, but keeping it safe. You don't want a disaster. I'm not a fan of zero gap bend clippers. Trimmers, sure, But even those, I'm not really okay with aggressive zero gaps. I like to keep some sort of gap on there, keeping it safe. And I gotta turn this thing off because sometimes it takes away from my audio, y'all. I know people complain here and there about my audio is not the best. Get me a microphone. I don't got a microphone. Send it to me. DM me. Hit me up with a DM or something like that. I'll send you my P.O. box number so you can send me a microphone. You know, if you want the audio to get better, I'm gonna need that microphone in. But yeah, this thing is pretty much set. And we're gonna do some cutting. I'm gonna have a few people roll in here, and y'all stay tuned. So now that we have this thing established, I want to just get into a few details about this Apex. It originally comes with a, of course, double black diamond carbon DLC fade blade, and it is equipped with a lightweight, deep, slim cutter for faster movement, obviously. And I like the original blade. With that being said, the fact that not too many people are really a fan of the fade blade, I figured that for me liking it, I would equip it with this diamond cut blade, of course, just to prove that this thing actually does what it's supposed to do. It's not going to snag, it's not going to pull on the scalp, hair, whatsoever. It's going to do nothing but cutting. Whatever the engineers who designed this did with it, they did just right. It's not your typical fade blade. I know people definitely don't trust in fade blades. And on top of that, I did equip this thing on a clipper that is a rotary motor. Now, this thing is set at, I believe, 7,200 RPM. So you get 7,200 strokes per minute, and it does the job. This is just a heavier Rebel clipper. If any of you are familiar with the Rebel or the Gamma Boosted, this is pretty much the same thing, just heavier, and it helps you control your hand just a little bit more. And you know, these rotary motors can be very unforgiving, as in they will just patch up somebody if you're not careful, compared to, like, you know, the more new and improved digital brushless motors stuff that's out now. Those things are more forgiving. Now, what I'm saying is, if you understand what, like, for example, a magnetic motor, which is very rare now, does, you will get a more smooth, forgiving cut because you're controlling your hand properly with the power. Now, with that rotary motor, that thing's chopping everything in sight, so you kind of have to have a technique with it. And a lot of people are definitely equipping this diamond cut blade on different tools, such as, you know, I would have loved to put this on my Saber, for example. I would love to put it on my Cyborg even. I've seen a lot of people, or I've heard a lot of people are putting theirs on the Instinct, for example, you know, and it's doing amazing. So as you can see, the fade is pretty much completed. This thing did amazing, and I'm using the diamond cut blade set on my Protege trimmer. This thing is a beast. I used it just to kind of create the straightaway line and make sure that everything was established from left to the right, obviously, starting off in the middle, then working my way out into the vertical bars. But I switched over to the Rebel trimmer, which is equipped with the stock blade that came with it, just to kind of talk about this real quick. In the temple area, I wanted to get those C-cups nicely because the blade on here just works perfect for his texture. It is a little bit of lighter hair, which is very difficult to get, and I just think for him and his side, like, temple area and the curve area on the temples is kind of sensitive to the point where the blades may cause some welting, which I didn't want to do for him. And if that makes any sense, I will get into that detail in a whole different video, because somebody did actually reach out to me on why is it that I don't use the Stylecraft Rebel trimmer anymore in my videos, which I use this trimmer on a regular, the clipper as well. It's just been a priority for me lately to use these specific different items, such as the Cyborg, which I've been talking about, that I'm going to be doing a series of videos using Cyborg trimmer and clipper only, then of course with the tight guards. But I'm also going to be focusing on the Protege models from Stylecraft and Gamma, just to kind of show you that those things are official and you can equip a blade on them that does the job. But as you can see, the diamond cut blade works perfect for fading on the Apex clipper. You can throw this thing on any clipper in my opinion, and I think it would do the job. One thing I would actually like to see this thing paired up with is, if not something like the Rebel, which is equipped with a rotary motor obviously, and the Instinct X. I would love to see this thing on any one of those clippers, but I don't have a Instinct X. That thing is definitely something I've tried before. I wish I would have got that thing on film, but somebody did come into the shop. They had one with them. I tried it out. Man, that thing feels really good. You know, it's amazing. But with that being said, you know, shout out to my guy, Barber Supplies. He is definitely my guy that comes through regularly and just shows me some of the stuff that he feels that I'll be interested in purchasing or having. And next time he's in, I'm going to make sure that I get him on film just to give him a shout out. He is one of the local barber suppliers. If I ever need anything, all I have to do is text him, mostly just call him, and if he has it, he pulls right up. He has a trailer hitched onto his truck, and everything you need, he got it for you. I mean, you name it, he's got you. But as you can see, I am showing you coarse hair, and this is a second model. This is my homie. He was goofing off earlier. I don't know if y'all paid any attention. He thought this was the funniest thing ever, the way I started off his hair, because I cut the top down first and I started to bald him out on the sides, and he thought he was looking like just this old man. He had his little bro in there too, just clowning him the whole time. But anyway, I did cut the hair down using this Apex. I know I didn't really show that part because I started recording this a little later. I used a dub guard, actually a number 0, the half dub guard, and I cut him against the grain, which brought it down to a super low look, which he didn't really like it, but his dad actually recommended that we go ahead and bring it down really low. He was supposed to be going for waves, but my man hasn't been taking care of his hair how he's supposed to, and it just got out of hand, so we had to take him down real low. But as far as this Apex clipper, just so you do know, I usually don't zero gap my clipper blade sets, but in this case, I kind of brought it really close, pretty much zero gapped it, y'all, and it's doing amazing. It was definitely no challenge to cut down anything or blend out anything with this clipper blade set. I mean, it definitely is a smooth blade. I highly recommend this blade. Now, should you zero gap it, that's all depending on what your cutting style is. For me, it was just kind of an experimental situation. I safely gapped it, or zero gapped it rather, and made sure that it was set up properly so that I can be able to execute everything that I needed it to do properly. But I'm going to, of course, use the diamond blade set, which is equipped on my Protege, to line them up. Of course, I'm going to be doing this a lot and just make sure that I'm pairing up everything, showing you how compatible both of these tools are, just like I've been doing with the Cyborg clipper and trimmer. Those things are very compatible. They do an amazing job. Now, I have heard that if you throw this blade set on the Cyborg trimmer, or for example the Instinct trimmer, you have a beast, you have a monster in your hand. And definitely was told that if you equip this diamond cut blade set on the Saber trimmer, it definitely just all the way transforms that thing to a whole nother deal. But I like it on my Protege because of the fact that I love that hitter model. So this is modded after the hitter, so it's easy to do stuff like what I just did with the little, C or half moon on his forehead. The lineup as well, everything's ergonomically friendly in hand, so you can execute flawless lines. It's flawless victory all day. So you are not going to be having any challenges with this blade. Doesn't matter what you throw it on, but it does definitely make a difference what type of motor you are using it on, because this hitter or the Protege, the blade moves a little bit slower, but I like that because of the way that I cut and my cutting style. This works perfect. It helps me be more precise with the angles. As you can see, look how perfect that C or the half moon looks on him. The whole lineup, actually, you know. I did use the diamond cut blade on my Protege trimmer on his beard as well. It did amazing and pretty much faded him as well. And I cut it down with the same clipper diamond cut blade. It did good for him. And I tapered out his beard, shaped it up, all that good stuff. I'm gonna do a little bit of some details on shaping him up in a second. As you can see, I'm just kind of getting what I can while he's laying back. But usually when I finish off the beard, I usually have my clients or model sit up so that I can pick it out. This helps you see exactly what you're doing a little bit better, and you can shape up the beard depending on the length. Especially gravity does play a huge role on the effect of the beard, especially when it comes down to length. But yeah, going to save some more of this content that I had recorded with the Apex clipper for another time, and just look out for a bunch of uploads that will be being put up soon. And I'm just showing y'all some hot comb stuff that I did here with the heat stroke. This thing was definitely getting all kinds of beards straight. I did definitely do a video reviewing this thing, which will be coming out soon, so stay tuned. It should be helpful to some of those. I've been sitting on this hot comb or the heat stroke for some time now, so I just want to make sure that a lot of you who are curious on whether you should purchase this or not, you know, should get it. I got you covered. I have a corded version and I have the cordless version, which I will be reviewing. So with that being said, this is a upcoming video that you can watch right after this video, which is showing me doing a high taper, which is really kind of like a mid fade taper, you know, or mid-high fade taper, whichever way you want to call this. You know, some people call this a tapered fade, but it's definitely more like on the mid level. I could have went higher on this, but this is the first time that we are ever doing this style taper on him. He usually does, if not a mid fade, he does a high fade, as in bald mid or high fade. That's usually what we do on him. And in this case, he said he wanted to do a taper, so I went ahead and set him up proper. So this is just some of the, you know, little quick preview rather, showing you how this turned out. And he loved it. He appreciated it. He usually always just lets me kind of do my thing. He just tells me do this, do that, and I just kind of flow with it. He's not very picky. I appreciate clients who actually trust your judgment, your work, to the point where everything you do on them, they're satisfied. I really pray and wish that one day I can find a barber that is punctual, on time, that I can just sit in their chair, tell them what I need of them to do, or whatever they see fit for me today or that day of the appointment. Do your thing. But we did this taper on him on the nape area and of course on the sides, and line up his beard, and it turned out very well. But this Apex equipped with the diamond cut blade set, this blade set is amazing, y'all. I do highly recommend it, so definitely get you one. Use discount code J.Exquisite on any Stylecraft or Gamma Plus items. This is not me just hyping up this blade. This thing is official, y'all. Just like the diamond cut blade set that comes on for available as a spare part for, of course, the trimmers. This thing right here, look at that, just butter clean. Like, there's nothing like this on the market right now. And if other brands have something similar, cool, that's awesome. All I'm saying is Stylecraft did a thing, and they set it up to where this thing can smack clean lines in coarse hair, medium hair, fine hair, whatever the texture, it's got you covered. And this blade is sharp, y'all. It's not ES5, the ever since blade sharp. It's not that type of sharp, because that thing is a whole monster of another kind of monster. Like, this thing's a beast right here, but it's definitely forgiving on the skin and stuff like that. If you have it zero gapped aggressively, you don't have to worry about it welting skin up. But on particular people, it will have them turn red. It will welt their skin up. So be careful regardless to, how light this blade is, how soft it is. It's just definitely a smooth blade. I've been using it for almost 3 weeks now, and I am sold. I'm very impressed with what Stylecraft did. At first, I thought that Eversense had something to do with this, but I don't think Eversense has anything to do with them. And yeah, this diamond cut blade from Stylecraft on the trimmer and the clipper is amazing. Get you one.